I've worked with athletes who ran 10.2 in the 100 meter, 4.4 seconds in the 40 yard, and even 4.2 seconds in the 40 yard. I've also helped football players who plateau their speed, increase their speed to get faster in games, and the same thing with Division I soccer players who felt slower in their competition. And I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 core beliefs that are secretly holding you back from getting faster and more explosive. And later in this video or later in this course, you'll get the exact system to start increasing your speed without wasting time in the gym, feeling overwhelmed, or wasting months not improving. Let's get started. The first core belief is probably the most popular thing I hear when it comes to training athletes. Most athletes think that speed is all genetics, but that is not exactly what you think. You see, you either have it or you don't. That's what many coaches and athletes all over my social media used to tell me. And the problem is, most athletes believe this, and this is why they're stuck. See, genetics does play a role in speed development, and I'm going to break down exactly what genetics does and what you can do about it. Genetics do influence your height, your limb length, your hip structure, and your muscle fiber types. But with really good coaches like myself, PJF, and Les Spellman, we have been able to get results with every athlete we worked with, no matter the race, the height, or the genetic type. We also see the impact in genetics when we look at something called late bloomers. For example, some of the fastest Olympic sprinters of all time didn't even break 11 seconds until their senior year of high school. If they had what people would call optimal genetics at birth, then they would be much faster at a young age, around 10 to 14 years old with little to no training, not randomly figuring out how to run fast around age 18 through 20. Now that you understand that genetics might be kind of a waste of time in terms of what's holding you back, let's understand what genetics actually is. First is going to be height and limb structure, like Achilles and femur length, total height, torso to thigh height, hip structure, bone structure, and much more. This is going to affect your stride length, your stride frequency, and your optimal sprint technique. The next thing is going to be the fiber type you were given at birth. In simple terms, some people are born with more fast twitch muscle fibers, and some people are born with more slow twitch muscle fibers. And the third thing that makes up genetics is going to be raw athleticism. When people use that term of just having raw athleticism since they were young, they probably mean this. They were probably referring to stuff like power, rate of force development, relative strength to their body weight, overall explosiveness, rate coding, and their stretch shortening cycle. Now that we removed some of the emotion and we clarified what good genetics physically means, when we look at the list, we can easily see that we can improve 2 out of 3 of these categories. We know from research that we can improve our fast twitch muscle fiber, and we can actually modify our fast twitch to slow twitch muscle fiber ratio through strength training and plyometric training. And the thing that people love to call raw athleticism, when we break it down to each category, we can actually improve every single aspect. Rate of force development can be improved through stuff like plyometrics and lifting. So can power. Relative strength is very easy to develop. In almost any sport, you can improve it. General explosiveness can be developed through explosive strength training, plyometric, and playing your sport at max intensity. Rate coding can be improved through strength training, plyometric training, and max effort sprint training. And the stretch shortening cycle can be easily improved through the extensive and intensive plyometric training. Research from Dr. Annie Galpin fully proves that you can develop and change your muscle fiber typing to primarily fast twitch muscle fibers. And all of the raw athleticism categories have a ton of research and strength conditioning books showing how to maximize each category. And in terms of body structure, it is a real thing, but it's succeed in sprinting, football, basketball, and soccer. Does this mean that everyone can be Usain Bolt, LeBron James, or Ronaldo? Of course not. But what it does mean is that you can teach and develop speed and make it to the professional level with good quality training. This type of quality sprint, plyometric, and strength training is the stuff that we use in the Speed Academy to help my athletes run 4.4 in the 40 yard and do this. The next point stops athletes from even working hard in the first place. Here's something that athletes rarely think about. Getting faster changes everything. A lot of athletes that I've worked with truly believe that sports is just politics and that this theoretical game is out to get you, but this is completely false. The reason for this is that coaches simply cannot ignore the best player. But what I see is athletes assuming that they're the best or most athletic player with no objective way to prove it. If you were the best or the most athletic or the fastest, you would be treated as such. No way around it. If you truly feel like you're being held back or disrespected by your peers and your coach, then the fix is to become objective to where you're currently at. So what you need to do is record and measure these specific athletic traits. Find out what your 40-yard dash is. Do not hand time it, laser time it, or record it. Objectively find out what your standing vertical jump is and your approach vertical jump is. Find out how much you could deep squat for 3 to 5 reps. Find how much you can bench for 3 to 5 reps. And find how much you can deadlift or power clean for 3 to 5 reps. Rate your skill for your sport or your position out of 10. Now, find the top 5 athletes in your state, in your sport, your skill, position, or maybe the track event you run, and compare yourself to them in each category. If you aren't even close to their athletic level in any of those categories, then you have little to no right to complain about being overlooked. Now, of course, there are aspects of sports that are flat out politics. But if you outwork other athletes and maximize your own potential without worrying about everyone else, you will shine and reach your maximum potential. Become the fastest, strongest, highest jumper, and most skilled on your team. And don't go off feelings, go off objective truths. And then a bonus tip is that speed is a huge separator. Anyone who is fast can play amazing defense, amazing offense, will be able to jump higher and farther from their speed development. Or if you run a linear sport, you will be the fastest on your team if you develop your speed. Linear speed is often why less skilled players get more opportunities than you. And to show this, I took my athlete Jalen, who struggled to get any college offers. We improved his 40-yard dash from 5.0 to 4.4, and he received college offers. He had decent skill, but he simply wasn't athletic enough before. Finally, the most overlooked belief that athletes have is that speed is too hard to improve. Now, speed is the hardest athletic trait to develop, and it takes the most time, but it's not impossible to improve. Most physical traits like rate of force development or power take around 2 to 6 weeks to see an adaptation. Most athletes just flat out train inconsistently or don't focus on the right things in their actual training and then write off speed development or their improvement of their athleticism as impossible. Even though early in this video, we broke down many elements of speed development, it is factually possible to improve significantly. So to fix this, you need to follow a program that follows the said principle. So you need to sprint 1 to 3 times per week, do plyometric training with fast ground contact times, work on general and explosive strength training, stay consistent with your training, nutrition, and recovery for 4 to 12 months to see any significant changes of improvement. But if you follow this system, you will be a completely transformed athlete. Most people give 2 months of a 7 out of 10 effort and execution and expect the same results as athletes who've been at it for 12 months with a 9 out of 10 effort and execution rating. I've made many training systems for myself and athletes who completely transformed their speed. Also worked with Les Spellman during his NFL Combine prep, where he transformed hundreds of athletes to run fast at the NFL Combine. I've seen what dedicated 3 to 4 months of 9.5 out of 10 training looks like, and also what most athletes think good training looks like, and it's nowhere close. Hard work alone is not enough and will not help you improve. You must give your body the correct stimulus so it actually has a reason to adapt and become faster. So now that you know that it is possible to get faster no matter who you are, you need to know what exactly is holding you back from getting faster. This is going to be nothing like this video. I'm not going to teach you anything conceptual or mental. This is going to be the raw physical traits and benchmarks that are stopping you from seeing consistent speed gains. So watch this next video to find out the weak links that are holding back your speed development.